It's not really that surprising. Again, Joe Biden needs to realize that you can't manage foreign policy from your basement. You need to actually get out there and do what needs to be done. Adversary in high regards. The Iranians are now dictating the terms on the return of JCPOA as if they're in the strong position, saying they will not look at a reduction in sanctions. They want a complete removal of sanctions. They do so because they're bolstered by China, which Joe Biden and the rest of the Democrats have done nothing to hold China accountable. We know for a fact that there was a $40 billion deal that had been struck between China and Iran to quote unquote infrastructure, even though we know that China refines their oil and also has supplied arms to them. And again, this is about resource warfare. This is more about China than it is anything else. China is trying to pressure Iran so that Iran can partner to throw out U.S. and allies in the Middle East, so it can be a Middle East resource warfare. And again, this is why the Abraham Accord under President Trump was so important, because it was bringing stability back. And Biden is destroying that in a matter of days.
Yeah, they don't talk about undoing the Abraham Accords, obviously, because they know they can't, how important it is. Also, Cory, one more thing to talk about here related to this. The U.S. closed a once secret prison unit inside Gitmo. The 40 inmates are now consolidated into 2 units instead of 3. But, I ask this question all the time. Why is Gitmo still open? In 2019, former President Trump said it's crazy to spend $13 million a year on each one of these inmates.
Well, again, I totally agree. Look, Gitmo's purpose was to try and go ahead and hold those accountable and those adversaries that were basically launching attacks or planning attacks against the West. We were using that as a way to try and go ahead and get further intelligence to forecast events, to prevent future attacks. But now you've got people who's been there for 15 and 20 years who no longer has relevant intelligence. They have nothing else that they can actually provide that's going to go ahead and prevent, because they've been out of it for so long. So we need to look at actually going forward with prosecution, if that's the case, and what they intend to do. But maintaining people who's been there for 15 and 20 years who no longer has an intel feed really doesn't make sense. And again, we need to get back to an American first agenda and stop shuttling money